Module 2, page 2. Module 2, page 2. Yes, it is. All right. Oh, so we observed. So this first part of the observation, which is what we just did with each other on page 2. So you're observing, are they internally or externally rotated, the whole leg, below the knee? You're checking that out, right? Is the knee facing a different direction? We looked at that. Is the patella facing a different direction? Do the calves have definition? One of the things is when it looks like the calf is bigger or it's bigger on the outside, definitely means you've got a locked fibula, okay? Definitely bigger, no definition on the outside, you have a locked fibula. And let me tell you, anybody that's bow-legged, locked fibula, okay? All right. Is the arch collapsed? We didn't really go into that as much, but we will when we get to the foot, a little bit more. And where's the weight bearing through the foot? We're going to do that a little bit more when we get to, I did a little bit of that like on Andrea. And so, and the color, I didn't talk about that, did I? Because we didn't really have anybody that had a big color difference, but you can have people who one leg is really red and one is not, and you definitely want to check that fibula for having, you know, the ability of the blood to actually circulate well and go. Yeah?
Question. So I have Raynaud's
Oh, you do?
as well, so would that have anything to do, I mean...
Is it
so
only in your
feet-
hands or it's in your feet?
It's in my feet sometimes, mostly
Okay.
in my hands, but
Okay.
in my feet as well.
So we
Okay.
get really, really cold.
Will you explain
No,
that?
Yeah.
they turn white, like
Yeah.
your extremities. Yeah, okay.
So, I mean, we would just, you would know that with your person already because you take the history. You'll take the history. Remember, we went through the history taking. And you're asking what diseases or illnesses you have, and you'd know it, and you'd put that into your thinking like, okay, so they've got Raynaud's, and I see white feet or red feet or something, red hands, whatever, okay? You just put it in there, in your thinking, okay? But this is not that kind of a color deal. What it is that usually you're looking at it at a circulation kind of deal, right? Where when the leg gets locked up, you're not getting good circulation up that leg, okay? Okay. So the next part is the part that's going to be most important for you, and I use it all the time. The person is supine. You are standing at the level of the feet, okay? You're actually standing on the side. It says below. You're standing on the side of the foot, okay? So you're standing on the side. You have one thumb. I put my leg away. I put my leg away. Okay. So the person is supine. Got to do it this way. You are standing on the side of the foot, okay? I am gently holding putting my index and thumb on each malleoli, okay? On the inside ankle and the outside ankle. That's all. I'm on the inside ankle and the outside ankle. But actually, I'm doing it like this because I'm holding this. It's my upper hand. It's my cephalic hand that's here because I'm going to dorsiflex with my other hand. And it has to be passive. Passive means they don't do it. Passive means you do it. And you're going to do it gently, and then you're going to feel where the barrier is. Because you can get them past the barrier. That is not the point. We don't care about getting past the barrier. We want to be in where that person can get to. And so, if you passive dorsiflex and they turn into where this is called eversion, okay? If they do that, then you know my fibula's got more freedom, but my tibia doesn't. If I can't go at all, then it's both, okay? So it's this passive dorsiflexion. You don't care about plantar flexion. You don't care about taking them the other way. It's the dorsiflexion that's going to tell you whether this can open, okay? Okay. Okay, can you do, uh-oh.
I don't know why.
Okay. So you're going to watch and see their ability. Okay, so you're going to have them, the first thing you can do is you're going to passively dorsiflex. Then you're going to watch them try to do it and see if they can actually do it. Okay? You're going to watch. And you're going to think, oh, well, they couldn't open the Mortise. Now that they're doing it, they are going all the way, stretching the whole backside. Okay? Okay. If not, so here in our passive, can you do passive dorsiflexion? If not, check for the talus is too anterior. So here's what happens is, when you cannot dorsiflex, when you can't dorsiflex, this bone is too anterior. The talus can be too anterior, so it stops it, okay? Or the mortise, the mortise won't open, okay? This won't open, alrighty? Can you do passive inversion and eversion of the foot? So can I turn their foot can I turn their foot internal? That's inversion. This is eversion. So when I turn my foot in, this way is inversion. When I turn it out, that's eversion. Can they do that? Because if a person cannot evert, oftentimes it's because the fibula is too low. And the fibula stops them from everting. And then you have them do it actively and you watch, and then you also do it passively, where you're holding the forefoot. I'll show you how to do this. You're holding the forefoot and you're turning them into eversion and inversion, okay? I will show that to you. Okay, the other thing is during inversion and eversion, what I also have, so I'm still standing over there by the side of the foot, and I take the foot, and what I want to do is I want to hold, like monitor, so it's light. There's no clamping because you'll stop the movement. I want to monitor the fibula, and I want to evert and invert. And when I do that, the fibula on eversion, when I turn the foot out, eversion, I should feel the fibula go high. And when I invert, I should feel the fibula go low. I'm going to say probably that almost everybody in here is you're going to do that, and it just feels like the foot is doing this and nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. We have treatments for that.
We do
It
indeed.
does include electric shock. So now you've tested and you're knowing what is moving, what is not, what can I do? This is my favorite treatment. See, there I am, 60 pounds ago. This is my favorite treatment, one of my favorite treatments. Okay, and Shannon, who's already got her shoes off, is the same person on the table. Get out of town, man. Okay, so there's supine. Okay, there's supine, and the therapist's cephalic hand, meaning the hand that's closest to the head, okay? Their thumb is 3/4 of an inch above the hole. Now I'm going to tell you about this. In the ankle between the tibia and the fibula, okay? So here's the deal. Most people want to stick their finger right here. You have to be up a little bit on the tibia. You have to be on the tibia. I'm going to go around and I'm going to make sure, because it's painful when you stick your finger in the hole. And it's not productive. It doesn't do anything other than hurt them. You are trying to get that tibia to go that way. I'm trying to get you to go that way, okay? So that when the dorsiflexion happens, you'll open, all right? So I have to have my thumb here, above, all right? I have to have my thumb above the hole. Most people do the mistaking of putting it in the hole, okay? All right, so I'm in there. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is hold my hand around the arch of their foot, okay? So it looks like this. I'm coming this way. It's not up here. I don't want to be up in the toes. So I'm here underneath, and I'm holding the foot like this. I'm here underneath. Don't get up at the toes. Somebody's going to do it, I know it. I'm going to have to go running over. I'm the toe police. And I'm going to stop you from doing that. Right here. And you know why? I want to be right under the arch. Right under the arch, right here. I'm going to be here, and I'm going to be here. Here and here. Here and here. You get me? I'm going to be against this, and I'm going to be right here. Okay? And you know why? Because I'm about to use that talus like a wedge to open the mortise. I'm going to be pushing with my thumb against the tibia going that way. And then I'm going to use the talus to open it. So you're going to see me wiggle the foot back and forth to use this as a wedge. A little carpentry action happening here, guys, okay? To open these, all right? Does everybody understand? Okay, so the thumb pushes both medially and at a 45-degree angle inferiorly. With the caudal hand, compact superiorly. Invert and evert the foot to use the talus as a wedge to open up the mortise. I do it all the time. You should not be doing that 20 minutes later.
No.
No, this should take a couple minutes, that's all. It should not be, you are not continuously doing that. You're gonna be in there doing, you're gonna try to get it to go, then you give it a break, then you test your dorsiflexion, then you go back in using the wedge, but I'm not doing that for a long, long time. That is not one of those, okay? Okay. Oh, this is good. This is awesome. This is just perfect enough. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Test and treatment, page 4. Test and treatment of the interosseous membrane between the tibia and the fibula. Okay. So this is using the two bones of the lower leg, compressing them together to release the interosseous membrane. You got it? So one of the things is the head of the fibula is painful. So you want to be, since we're going to have, as you can see in the picture, we're going to have two hands on the length of the bone, all right? So we're going to have two hands here. One thing you want to do is, you do not want to have a hand on the head of the fibula because that's painful. So when I go to take my hand position, I'm below it. I'm below the head of the fibula. So remember that, okay? It doesn't matter about the malleolus, that doesn't hurt. The head of the fibula hurts, okay? So I'm going to squeeze those together, okay? I'm compacting those membranes in order to get the membranes to go. Isn't that what happens when your drawer is stuck? You don't keep yanking it this way. You actually take it in, don't you?
Shimmy, yeah.
You actually take it in. And here's the thing. It does, you do learn a little bit of strength of doing this, but it's like strength that's coming out of my lats and my body, not like my forearms. So I'm not wanting to like just use my forearms. I'm wanting to get my lats engaged. And when I do this, it's like my whole body is doing this, okay? Because there are some things now, as you're going to be compressing bones, that there is some strength involved, or there's some stuff involved like that, okay? Alrighty? Does anybody have any questions? Are we good so far? Okay. Treatment 1, squeezing the tib and the fib together, fine tune the parameters. That just means you may have to like rotate in different directions or compact more. So I not only compact this way, here's what you're gonna know about me as we go through this training, is that I'm always get your biggest bang for your buck, girl, okay? Though that doesn't happen in the outdoors, out of here, but it does when I'm working on somebody. I try to make it be as many aspects as possible that the body can take in. So, not only am I compacting this way, I'm fine-tuning and compressing it together this way. Okay? So I'm trying to get as much release as possible.
So when you're fine tuning and compressing, are you doing that all at the same time?
You bet I am.
Okay.
You bet I am. I'm compacting them together, I'm fine-tuning them this way, and compacting them that way, and I'm doing them all at the same time.
Okay.
And the more I hold, this is called, as you had a little bit of this the other day. This is called stacking the parameters.
You know how we did with the OA?
You did it in an OA. Remember that? You went into extension on the OA, right side bend and right rotation, and you added them all up without losing the one before. That is a premise that you are now taking with you from now until you stop working as a therapist. Because stacking the parameters is how you actually talk to the body. The more I can fine-tune all the directions that it asks, the more I can fine-tune it, the more the body's PRM health takes over and then expands things.
So the movement's going to be compact and then
Squeezing them together, compacting, and whatever else feels like you're like, that might be enough. I might squeeze them together, compact them, and like, that's all I need. But there might also be a, oh yeah, I need a, there it is, and then you're gonna feel it. It's like you have it all in your hands. This is a concept that's hard, but once you start to get it, it opens up like a lot for you. Once you get it. But remember, you're in the learning phase here, guys. You're in the very beginning of new concepts. That's what makes this module so challenging, is that you're in new concepts. Okay? Alrighty? Yeah.
When stacking the parameters of OA, we did into ease. Are we doing, we're not questioning like.
You're
is
into
this
tension.
Yeah.
You're into tension on this. Yep, you're into tension.
So when we're starting to wind it up, imagine it like a towel. Like
Yes.
Winding a towel, you're
Yes.
winding it more and more. You're looking for where is that tension until suddenly both hands connect and you have
Yes.
the whole bone in your hand.
Beautiful. Yes. And in this case, you're working the membrane, but you're doing it through the bones like that. And then what I do, here's the wacky thing, and this is, you know, at first I only did all the compression and just feel when it starts to undo. But there is this place where it's almost like, okay, so I can squeeze them together, and then I compact them together, and then I fine tune them, and then I feel like I hit that place. And then when the PRM takes over, it opens it, you know, it starts to do something. And you may only feel this as an urge in yourself, okay? Or you may literally feel this under your hands, is that then I take the bones and stretch them in exactly the opposite direction. I never, yes, and I never let go of the compaction. So when you're compacting through a long bone, you're compacting them together, and then there is a point of time where you're taking it in the, like that leg where whoever that was, where we had half of it one direction and half the other. So I'm gonna, that was you, wasn't it, Abby? Where, or whoever that, yeah, it was Abby. Is that, you know, when I'm on her tibia, you know, and the lower part is externally rotated and the upper part is here. So we've got this going on. So I'm holding and I'm holding. I'm gonna bring her internally rotated on the bottom and look for myself this way. Once I have that, then I'm gonna fine tune it until I feel like it kind of lets go a little and sinks together more. And then what I'm gonna do is, because she was externally rotated this way, I'm gonna do the opposite while I take her out of it, stretch her out of it. Oof. It's awesome. A little tough to get in the beginning, but then you're gonna be doing it all over the place. Seriously. You're gonna be doing it, true. You're gonna come back next time and say, we only did this in the legs, but I tried it in an arm, or I tried it in a hand, and you're, yeah, oh yeah, okay? All right, anybody have any questions so far?
Is this why when you do it without doing the compression and the stacking and going for PRM, if you just try to twist it, the bone doesn't respond?
No, the bone will respond, because once you take the twist and get it in there, now you're talking to the PRM. You just are. Because what happens is, and this is what you're going to learn about stacking the parameters, is that I now take over the lesion. Okay? You no longer have to hold the lesion. Your system is not holding the lesion. I am. And then the PRM frees itself and says, I can work on that. That is what is so different about, okay. So, where's my phone? Where's my phone? Too much, I swear to God. Okay. So Ardith sent me something last night at 10:52.
When I
sleeping.
landed.
When she landed, okay. And I wasn't sleeping, but I wish I was. So she sent this to me, and it's awesome. And it is exactly what we're talking about. This is a medicine woman's prayer. I will not rescue you, for you are not powerless. I will not fix you, for you are not broken. I will not heal you, For I see you in your wholeness. I will walk with you through the darkness as you remember your light. How awesome is that? So what's happening now is I am not fixing that bone. I am connecting to the healing power that is within you. And you are just learning the mechanism to do it. And the mechanism is connecting to the PRM. Now, I have just figured out these modalities to do that. Because one of the things that happens is when I hold your lesion pattern, when I hold that, it frees your own body to heal you. So even though it looks like I fixed your leg, that is not true. I gave your leg the opening and the place for it to do it itself. That's all that's happening. You are now spending 2 years with me learning the language of the body to always be able to connect to the PRM, because your PRM is tied up holding all your issues. That is what it's doing. My PRM is tied up, my health is tied up holding these things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in there and do that. So now I'm holding it. So it frees itself to heal it. So that's what we're doing. Rather than let me do this to you so that your body can actually, that's why you have to do every other modality over and over and over and over again. Why you have to have massage, chiropractic, PT, why you have to have it is because nobody is connecting to the health unless you've been trained this way, which you are being trained this way. I'm pretty emphatic about that, if you can't tell. Okay.
Amen.
Can I have an amen?
Yeah.
I just want to say that I'm sitting here thinking, I wish I could get a refund on a lot of classes.
That's why for over, I think it's 12 years since I've gone to do a workshop anywhere. Yes. Yeah, but I've been getting workshopped by spirit and by the lineage. I mean, you got to know that this is not Lee Ankrum. This is the lineages. This is being taught to me by especially the osteopathic, but many things telling me this. You know, yeah, yes.
Okay, talking about the tibia and the fibula and the
Fibula.
nerve stuff that's in between. When we do that compaction, do you think part of that has to do with, you know, the neuropathy in your foot and things like that?
Well, it'd be interesting, like, if your leg is frozen, there's just no chance. If you have any kind of, you know, diabetic neuropathy or a neuropathy, you definitely have no chance if you have no, like, freedom and circulation and PRM and stuff. So, you know, I have helped people lessen it, you know, definitely lessen it. And, you know, the guy that had it the worst in my practice, he was frozen in there. I mean, he was frozen, and I could never get him completely in his worst leg and foot. And his Mortise was frozen badly, and I could not get it all the way undone. But he was better. Like, it used to be from like here, and then when I finished with him, it was like down to there. So, you know, that's the other part about this work is you have to also understand is that it's not, you're not always gonna like get everything all back to rosy, man, you know, and I'm good with that. You know, I'm good with doing the best I can, and then whatever happens, happens. Treatment 2, option A. Ooh, there's an option. Okay. Now this is much more direct, okay? This is a much more direct one. The client bends the knee, and you can see me sitting on the foot. The therapist's inside hand stabilizes the leg around the knee level, and the fingers of the other hand come in behind the fibula into the interosseous membrane. So what's happening is that I am stabilizing with one hand, or I could have two hands, and my fingers are going in to try to get between, okay? If you have it and you're trying to squeeze and it just won't, then I might have to go direct and actually come in, and both of, I can either have one hand holding the leg with my other fingers wrapping around the back of the fibula, trying to free it. I could do it direct pressure. If something is painful, you don't want to move. You just want to put your fingers in and just stay there. If something isn't as painful, then I can do movement, okay? Then I can do movement. So I can either move, or I can drag my fingers down, and I can either do two hands, or one hand holding and one hand. And I'm going to show it to you, okay? Oh, there you go. Okay. So you're mobilizing the fibula. You are mobilizing the fibula. That is what we're doing. I think we ought to have lunch and then I'll show you everything after.
There's a second part to that.
There is.
Option B.
Option B.
Option B.
Okay, give me B. Bolster under the client's knees. The therapist has the fingers posteriorly and anteriorly on the interosseous membrane. So you're doing this. I'm holding it around, if it's possible. Around the fibula. I'm going around the fibula, okay? The other hand grasps the medial side of the foot. Oh, this is so good. Making sure you're stabilizing the neck of the talus. Bring the foot passively into dorsiflexion and feel tension in your hand. Hold and wait for a release. Then increase the dorsiflexion and wait for another release. Oh, I'm going to show you. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is me good. Okay. Contraindications, any kind of unhealed fractures, phlebitis or DVTs, or somebody that's had, deep vein thrombosis. So if somebody has had, blood clots or they have varicose veins, you can do this, but you're doing this much lighter, okay? And it really helps them to actually have the fibula moving. But you can do it, but you really, not on phlebitis, but if they've had some kind of, varicosities or something like that, as long as you're careful and as long as you're doing it lighter, you can do this with them, okay? All right, because it really is helpful to get as much of the blood flowing as possible. All righty? Anybody have any questions? We all good? Yes.
So, Baker's cyst would not be a contraindication for that last one?
Oh, no,
Not Baker's,
especially not
not
here.
yet.
No, Baker's cyst is behind the knee. We've got some contraindication for the Baker's cyst coming out. Stay tuned.
Dun, dun, dun.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
Yes.
One more question.
Yes.
What about the varicose veins that they cured it? If the doctor's gone in there and fixed the varicose veins, is that still considered something we have to be cautious about?
It depends on how they fixed them,
Okay.
okay? Because a lot of times, if they've stripped them, that means they've taken the vein out, you're good to go. I made you all to go into your shorts and now you gotta go to lunch. Is that if the veins are stripped, that means they've taken the veins out, you're good to go. But if they've injected into the veins, it's kind of something that works not the greatest. So I'd still, if it was an injection to create scar tissue in the veins, I'd be careful because you want to keep the scar tissue there. So I'd be more static than I would do any kind of movement with that kind of thing, okay?
Is that painful? Because I have many clients
Very.
out there.
Can be.
Their veins done
Oh.
one way or another, but if we're working on that,
It's going to be painful for
Will
them,
be
yeah.
painful for
But I
them.
would just hold.
okay.
I would not do any movement. I would just hold,
Okay.
okay? And that's what I would do. Okay. So let's come back together and start going at about 10 after 1, okay? About 10 after 1?